And with these protests continuing throughout the nation tonight, we're taking a closer look at the Antifa political movement. President Trump recently said in a tweet that the U.S. would be designating Antifa as a terrorist organization. ABC 7's Maria Serrano has the story.
If you think of an organization perhaps having a headquarters building or even like a leader, and it's really more just, in some cases, it can be considered more an ideology. So it's something that people believe in.
According to the New York Times, Antifa members campaign against actions they view as authoritarian, homophobic, racist, or xenophobic.
They're like little organizations in different parts of the country that might mobilize themselves for a protest. Contrary to what some people might believe, there's really no driving force out there. At least not a driving force that anyone's been able to find.
Dr. Rausch says their belief system is easy to identify by looking at some of their signs at protests.
They're fighting racism, that one's pretty clear, but then they're also sort of fighting the economic elitism that they see in the world. Definitely the economic elitism they see in the United States.
He says typically when we define a terrorist organization, it's an organization from another country.
And then we could do things like cut off like that organization's bank accounts. And it's been difficult for many people to find the Antifa's bank accounts because they don't have one. We've defined them as a domestic terrorist organization. How do we do something to them? How are we going to affect them? If it's really just more an idea.
He says anti-fascism has a long history, but the current discussion really comes out of some of the groups that emerged after the election of President Trump.
There were some anti-fascist type arguments that were made with the Charlottesville, with the when there was a number of white supremacist riots, and so there's some groups that arose to challenge those protests. So probably the most recent history will be since about 2017.
In Amarillo, Maria Serrano, ABC 7 News.
And Dr. Rausch adds that one of the things that anti-fascists do, as many extremists on the right and left do, is a process called doxing. It's when you search for private or identifying information about a person and then post it on the internet, usually with malicious intent.